Hello, amazing hackers. Hope you're all doing well today. I bet you were expecting some amazingly insightful video. Well, guess what? You're stuck with my ugly face reading an article. So let's do that, shall we? I'd like to bring your attention to this article. Most of you will probably already have seen it, but I think it's still very important to go over for the general public. If anybody's watching, doesn't know any of these terms, wants to know more, feel free to leave a comment. So 10 of the most prolific mobile banking Trojans have set their eyes on 639 financial applications that are available on the Google Play Store. Those of you who don't know, a Trojan is of course a piece of software that lifts on other pieces of software with malicious intents. Now, it doesn't have to have malicious intents, but believe me, these do. They have over a cumulative download count of 1.01 billion times, which is amazing. Not a lot of apps get that. So to be a mobile Trojan and then get downloaded over a billion times, oh wow. Some of the most targeted apps include the Walmart backend phone PE, and then we also have Binance, Cash App, Guarantee BBVA Mobile, La Banque Postale, Ma Banque, CF Mon Compte, Postpay, and BBVA Mexico. All of these apps alone account for more than 260 million downloads from the official app marketplace. Now, as you might notice, there's more in there than just your normal banking systems as we know them. There's also DeFi in here, which is something that is very interesting. It seems that attack vectors are shifting from the regular attack vectors that we might have seen onto the DeFi platforms as well. It seems that for the longest time, they've been a little bit less victim of those types of attacks because presumably they also had a little bit less of a profit than the big banks, or a little bit of a less of a capital to work with. But we've been seeing more and more, of course, that they have been rising in popularity. Of the 639 apps tracked, 121 are based in the United States, followed by the UK, Italy, Turkey, Australia, France, Spain, and Portugal. T-Bot is targeting 410 out of the 639 applications that were tracked, according to mobile security company Zimperium. Now, that is one large market share, believe me. So now we know that T-Bot is controlling a big part of that market. What's the other half? New analysis of Android threats during the first half of 2022 have showed this, but Octo targets 324 out of the 639 banking applications. So, as you can see, we have a lot of these applications, a lot of these mobile Trojan horses that are lifting on a big array of different applications, of different banking applications. So if we look at all of that, we have T-Bot, we have Octo. Other prominent banking Trojans include Bianlian, Copper, EventBot, Flubot, Medusa, Sharkbot, and Xenomorph. But Flubot is also considered to be an aggressive variant of, and sorry for butchering that, Cabusis, not to mention Notorious for hitching its distribution wagon to serve Medusa, another mobile banking Trojan that can gain near complete control over users' device. So we're not just talking about Trojans anymore that can control one application. They can now already take complete control over the device if we're not careful. Last week, Europol announced that the dismantling of infrastructure behind Flubot has commenced. Now, malicious remote access control tools like these are often hiding behind a cloak of benign-looking applications that are designed to target mobile financial applications in an attempt to carry out on-device fraud and siphon funds directly from the victim's attack. What do you mean by that? You have your app that looks perfectly normal, that looks perfectly fine, functions very well on the front end, but in the background, might be siphoning away funds from your bank account. So you have to be really careful, of course. Don't download that application that says free V-Bucks, or is Fortnite not a thing anymore? Am I already getting that old? Anything that is good to be true should probably not be downloaded and used on your device, especially not on the same device that you have your banking application. That goes without saying. In addition, the rogue apps are equipped with the ability to evade detection by often hiding their icons from home screen, and are known to log keystrokes, capture clipboard data, and abuse accessibility services permissions to pursue their objectives, such as credential theft. A lot to unpack here. So we have rogue apps. Those are the mobile Trojans that we were talking about. They have the availability to evade detection. So any antivirus that you have on your device might not even be enough, might not be sufficient. Besides all of that, they can log keystrokes, so there are keyloggers in there. Capture clipboard data, so if you ever copied a password onto your clipboard, say goodbye to that. And they can abuse accessibility services permissions, so that means that you give service to a specific app in order to increase its accessibility, but they abuse that to gain access to things like your device, for example. This involves the use of overlay attacks, pointing a victim to a fake banking login page that's displayed atop legitimate financial apps and can be used to steal the credentials entered. So let's say you have your banking application open. The way these apps work is by overlaying an almost identical application to your bank's app, only it will not send the login data to the bank directly, but it'll send it to the attacker first, so they have that login data. Now, the consequences of such attacks can range from data theft, financial fraud, to regulatory fines, loss of customer trust. Of course, you really don't want that to happen. In the past decade, the financial industry moved completely to mobile for its banking and payments services and stock trading, researchers said. I don't know about you guys, my bank still offers a web banking solution, a net banking as they call it, but they really encourage you heavily to use their mobile application and not so much their website anymore. And I think that's kind of a trend in a lot of companies, or a lot of countries, I should say. While this transition brings increased convenience and new options to consumers, it also introduces novel fraud risks, which I agree with. But I also think that mobile devices, are some of the most secure devices that you can have, because they're often running in a sandboxed environment, meaning your application cannot access any data that is outside of its own context. Besides that, they're all running under certain permission schemes, so you have to give permission to every single thing an app can do implicitly, while a website, everybody has something different on their computer. Every computer runs differently from the next one over. Well, you can have some structure in mobile development with their, of course, sandbox environments that completely isolate your application, and their keychains where you can store certain information. There's a lot of security things baked into your computer or into your mobile device already, which are not in your computer. So don't think that this is going to suddenly mean that you're going to lose all of your money if you don't immediately switch over to something else. Just be very mindful that you don't open anything that seems too good to be true. Also, keep a close eye on your bank account, of course. If you see money disappearing, which shouldn't, then of course make sure that you make notice of a case fraud with your bank, and with a fraud case, of course, with your bank and with the institutions in power. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something new. For me, it was quite a shock that so many banking applications were being targeted by the same malware, which is insane to think about for me. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is thexssrat, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, my friends.